The internet was buzzing, the rumors were spreading like wildfire, and fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. For weeks, whispers had circulated that Jasmine had undergone an expensive Brazilian butt lift, that her transformation wasn't natural, that she had somehow altered her appearance behind closed doors. Social media exploded with speculation, memes, and heated debates, and everywhere you looked, someone had an opinion. But tonight, everything changes. Jasmine herself has stepped into the eye of the storm, determined to set the record straight, and what she revealed has left everyone completely stunned. No surgery, no BBL, nothing artificial. Fans are in total shock, struggling to reconcile the image they had built in their minds with the truth that now stands before them. The tension was palpable as she faced the camera, her voice steady but her eyes revealing the weight of weeks of scrutiny. "I've heard the rumors," she said, her tone sharp yet calm. "I've seen the posts, the messages, the memes, and I'm here to tell you the truth, everything you think you know about me right now. It's not real." Emotions ran high in the room as her closest friends and family watched, some skeptical, some relieved, all curious. Even her longtime fans, who had followed every post, every outfit, every change, could hardly believe the words coming out of her mouth. The disbelief wasn't just on social media, it was in her own living room, where whispers of betrayal, accusations, and defensive reactions ricocheted off the walls. How could this be? How could Jasmine, the woman everyone thought had undergone surgery, be completely natural? As she recounted her story, tensions flared between friends who had taken sides too quickly, family members who felt blindsided, and fans who had been ready to defend or condemn her without knowing the truth. The air was thick with drama, and every sentence Jasmine spoke seemed to ignite another spark in an already volatile room. Just when it seemed the chaos might settle, an unexpected twist threw everything into question again. A private message leaked, a shocking revelation about a former friend, and suddenly, the story wasn't just about Jasmine's appearance, it was about loyalty, deception, and secrets that no one saw coming. And as the world watched, hearts raced, fingers hovered over keyboards, and emotions ran higher than ever before. The stage was set, the drama was real, and the shockwaves were only beginning to ripple through fans, friends, and family alike. By the end of this revelation, one thing was certain: nothing would ever be the same, and everyone involved would be forced to confront the truth. And the Lazat had been swirling around Jasmine for far too long. The tension in the room was unbearable, a thick fog of speculation and disbelief hanging over everyone present. Jasmine sat in the center, the glow of the camera lights casting sharp shadows across her face, revealing just how exhausted she had become from weeks of constant scrutiny. Her voice, though calm at first, carried an intensity that made even her closest friends lean in, hanging on to every word. "I've been hearing all kinds of things," she said, the words deliberate and measured. "People saying I changed my body overnight, that I had surgery, that I'm not the same person they used to know. It's exhausting, and honestly, it's hurtful." Whispers filled the room as family members exchanged glances, some skeptical, others obviously relieved. The chatter on social media had grown into a relentless storm. Fans divided between those who defended her and those who attacked, claiming proof through edited photos and manipulated videos. It seemed everywhere she turned, there were accusations waiting, ready to pounce. Jasmine's friend Tasha, sitting close by, reached over and took her hand. A silent gesture of support, knowing that the world outside didn't realize the toll this had taken. "We've got to clear this up," Tasha said softly, almost pleading. "People deserve to know the truth, and so do you." Emotions ran high as Jasmine nodded, taking a deep breath before continuing. "The truth is," she said, pausing to ensure the gravity of her statement was felt, "everything you've seen, everything you've been told about me having surgery, it's false. I have never had a BBL. I have never altered my body in any way." The room fell silent, a heavy pause that made the camera crew hold their breath. The shock on faces ranged from disbelief to relief, and even some fans watching the live feed online were pausing mid-scroll, unsure if what they were hearing could possibly be true. Jasmine's younger cousin, Kelly, who had been skeptical all along, let out a low whistle. "So, wait, all that drama, it was fake?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly with a mix of awe and incredulity. Jasmine nodded, a faint weary smile crossing her face. "Yes," she said, her tone firm, "all of it. The photos, the rumors, the supposed leaks, it's been blown out of proportion. People want a story, and I guess my life became their playground." Tension escalated when her Aunt Carla, who had been vocal about the rumors on social media, interjected. "But Jasmine, why didn't you say anything sooner? People were talking, they were accusing, and some of your friends even joined in. Emotions flared as Jasmine turned to face her, her eyes narrowing slightly. Because, she said, voice steady but cold, I wanted to handle it privately first. I didn't want to feed the fire. And I certainly didn't want to stoop to their level by arguing publicly with every single person who spread lies. But enough is enough. I'm tired of hiding. And it's time the world knows the truth. The room seemed to vibrate with tension as the words sank in. The drama that had been building over weeks reached a boiling point. And it was clear that some relationships in her circle were going to be tested. Friends whispered behind their hands, casting glances at one another, unsure of where they stood after this confession. Meanwhile, Jasmine continued, her voice taking on a more personal tone. You have to understand, this isn't just about appearances. It's about trust, about people believing in me, about not letting false narratives define who I am. Every time a rumor spread, it wasn't just words, it was an attack on my character, on my life. And I'm not going to let that continue. A sharp knock at the door drew everyone's attention. It was her manager, Marcus, who stepped inside, holding his phone in his hand with a slightly anxious expression. Jasmine, he said. I just got another message from a major fan page. There's speculation about you now dating someone secretly. And it's going viral already. The room groaned collectively, the tension thickening further. Jasmine shook her head, frustrated but composed. See, this is exactly what I mean, she said, gesturing to the phone. People fabricate stories because they want drama. They don't care about facts. They just want to watch chaos unfold. Fans watching online began flooding the live chat with reactions, shocked emojis, questions, and declarations of loyalty. The comments section was ablaze with speculation, love, and outrage all at once. Some claimed they had known the truth all along. Others admitted they had been deceived by manipulated images. And a few were simply trying to piece together what was real and what wasn't. Jasmine's best friend, Leah, leaned in closer, her voice low but intense. We need to expose the truth completely, all of it. Otherwise, people will just keep believing lies and the cycle won't stop. Jasmine nodded in agreement, a sense of determination washing over her. We will, she promised. Every post, every image, every rumor, they'll all be addressed. And when we're done, no one will be able to question me again. But the storm wasn't just external. Inside the room, tensions simmered between family members who had unknowingly fueled the speculation. Old grudges resurfaced, accusations flew under hushed breaths, and even the closest allies found themselves questioning motives. Her brother, Terrell, who had been quiet until now, finally spoke up. I just don't get it, he said, running a hand through his hair. Why would anyone make this up? It's hurting you, Jasmine, but it's also tearing us apart. Jasmine's eyes softened for a moment as she reached over and grabbed his hand. It's not about why, she said gently, it's about how we respond. We can let it destroy us, or we can confront it head-on and take control of the narrative. That's what I'm choosing to do. The emotional weight of the moment was palpable, and the family seemed to hold its collective breath. The camera caught every reaction, from tears to skeptical frowns to subtle nods of support, capturing the complexity of human emotions in raw detail. Just when it seemed the drama had reached a peak, an unexpected twist entered the scene. Tasha, her friend, glanced at her phone, eyes widening. Jasmine, you're not going to believe this? She said, voice trembling. Someone posted old pictures of you claiming they're recent, saying it's proof you lied. It's already trending. Gasps echoed through the room as everyone crowded around the screen. The pictures were manipulated, clearly old images, but the captions suggested otherwise. The betrayal stung, a reminder of how relentless the scrutiny had been. Jasmine felt a pang of frustration but steadied herself. This is why we do it now, she said firmly. We set the record straight before more lies circulate. We can't let these fake stories define me. The team quickly devised a plan to release a series of videos and posts that would confirm the truth, share behind-the-scenes footage, and directly address every rumor. The intensity in the room grew as cameras rolled, emotions spilling over into passionate explanations, impromptu interviews, and heartfelt confessions. Every word, every gesture, was calculated yet sincere. A delicate balance between defending oneself and maintaining authenticity. Meanwhile, fans online continued to react, creating a wave of chaos and support simultaneously. Hashtags began trending, some defending Jasmine, others questioning the authenticity of the posts, and some simply captivated by the unfolding drama. The social media frenzy became a character of its own, an unpredictable force influencing every decision made in the room. Jasmine's voice cut through the noise, firm and unwavering. Listen, she said, addressing both her family and the fans watching live. I will not allow anyone to rewrite my story. I will not let false narratives take control. I am revealing the truth, and it's time everyone else sees it too. As she spoke, the tension began to shift from skepticism to admiration. Even those who had doubted her earlier started to nod, seeing the courage it took to confront such relentless scrutiny. Yet the room was far from settled. Old resentments resurfaced. Subtle jabs were exchanged, and the weight of public perception lingered heavily. Just as everyone seemed to catch their breath, a new development arose. Leah, looking concerned, whispered urgently to Jasmine. There's someone on the outside, a former friend, who claims to have insider information. They're threatening to reveal something personal if we don't address it first. The room froze. The stakes had just escalated. What began as a simple clarification about her body had now spiraled into deeper secrets, potential betrayals, and emotional confrontations that no one had anticipated. Jasmine's eyes hardened, a mixture of determination and fear. Then we deal with it, she said simply, hit on as we always should. Nothing stays hidden forever. The emotional intensity was palpable, and as cameras continued to roll, capturing every tense exchange, whispered accusation, and tearful confession, it was clear that the drama was only beginning. Relationships were being tested, loyalty questioned, and every revelation seemed to set off a chain reaction of emotions that left no one untouched. The room, once a place of anxious anticipation, now felt like the center of a storm, with Jasmine at the heart of it. Navigating the chaos with poise and grit, fans online were glued to their screens, commenting, reacting, and sharing, creating a whirlwind of digital engagement that mirrored the emotional turbulence in the room. The story that had started as a simple clarification about her body had now evolved into a multi-layered drama involving trust, betrayal, secrets, and the relentless pressures of public life. And as the first part of this revelation unfolded, one thing became crystal clear: nothing would ever be the same, and everyone involved would be forced to confront truths they hadn't anticipated, with consequences that would ripple far beyond the walls of that room. The room remained tense, the silence stretching for a moment before Jasmine finally spoke again. Her voice measured but carrying an unmistakable edge. We're not done, she said, leaning forward, her eyes scanning each familiar face. There's more to this than just what you see online. There are people spreading lies for attention, for clicks, for drama, and I will not let them dictate my life any longer. Her words hung in the air, heavy with determination, and the family exchanged uneasy glances. The atmosphere was electric, emotions running high, as everyone braced themselves for what was coming next. Tasha, still holding Jasmine's hand, whispered, "They're going to try and turn this against you. They'll dig for anything they can use." Jasmine's lips pressed into a thin line, nodding. "I know," she replied, her voice almost a whisper, yet firm. "But we'll handle it. We'll expose the lies before they have the chance to spread." As if on cue, Marcus, her manager, checked his phone again, a frown creasing his forehead. "Jasmine, the fan pages are now digging into your old interviews," he said quickly. "They're claiming contradictions, saying you admitted to procedures years ago. It's gaining traction fast." The group collectively winced, realizing the storm was far from over. Leah frowned, running her fingers through her hair. "This is insane. People will believe anything if it fits their narrative." Jasmine took a deep breath, gathering her resolve. "Let them talk," she said firmly. "We have facts, we have proof, and most importantly, we have the truth. And we're going to show it." The team sprang into action, crafting a meticulous plan to counter the false narratives. Old photos, behind-the-scenes, videos, and unedited clips were being prepared for release. The goal was clear: leave no room for doubt, no opening for further speculation. Meanwhile, the family drama simmered beneath the surface. Jasmine's Aunt Carla still seemed visibly shaken, her previous accusations weighing on her. I don't understand why people lie like this," she muttered, more to herself than anyone else. Jasmine reached out, placing a reassuring hand on Carla's shoulder. "It's not about why, Auntie," she said gently. "It's about how we respond. We stay calm, we stay true, and we let the truth speak for itself." Just when it seemed the plan might be enough to stabilize the situation, a new twist emerged. Kelly, Jasmine's cousin, who had been unusually quiet, suddenly blurted out, "Wait, I just got a message from someone claiming they have proof that contradicts what you're saying. They say they have receipts." The room tensed instantly, the energy shifting from controlled determination to anxious alertness. Jasmine's eyes narrowed, but she kept her composure. "Show me," she demanded, her voice firm. The phone was passed over, and the screen displayed screenshots supposedly evidence that she had admitted to procedures in private messages years ago. The group leaned in, analyzing the messages carefully. Leah's brow furrowed. "These look manipulated," she said cautiously. "The timestamps are off. The wording doesn't match your style at all." Jasmine's jaw tightened, anger flashing in her eyes. "Exactly," she said, slamming her hand lightly on the table. "This is what I'm talking about. People will go to any length to create a story, even fake evidence." The room buzzed with a mix of relief and renewed tension. It was one thing to clarify rumors. It was another to actively battle fabricated proof. The emotional stakes escalated, and everyone present realized that this was no longer just a matter of public perception. It was a personal battle for integrity, for respect, and for the truth to finally be acknowledged. Amid the chaos, the camera crew captured every raw emotion, the disbelief, the relief, the anger, and the frustration. The footage would later serve as undeniable proof of the turmoil and the courage it took for Jasmine to confront the storm head-on. Just when they thought the moment had reached its climax, an unexpected interruption jolted the room. The door opened, and in walked a former friend of Jasmine's, someone who had been rumored to hold secrets for years. The air shifted instantly, a mix of apprehension and curiosity spreading through the room. "Jasmine," the friend said, her tone neutral but with a hint of tension, "we need to talk. I have information that could change everything, but only if you're ready." The family exchanged worried glances. Tasha squeezed Jasmine's hand, a silent plea for caution. Jasmine met the friend's gaze directly, a flicker of challenge in her eyes. "I'm ready," she said simply, her voice unwavering. The friend took a deep breath, then began to reveal details of past interactions, private conversations, and misunderstandings that had been distorted over time. Each revelation was layered with drama, accusations, and emotional weight, further complicating the already volatile atmosphere. The room seemed to pulse with tension as truths and half-truths collided, testing loyalties and challenging relationships. Old wounds were reopened, long-standing grievances resurfaced, and the emotional intensity grew to a fever pitch. Fans online were captivated, reacting in real time, some defending Jasmine fiercely, others scrutinizing every word, and many simply watching in disbelief as the drama unfolded with almost cinematic intensity. Jasmine's responses were measured yet emotional, balancing the need to defend herself with the awareness that every word could be analyzed, dissected, and shared widely. "I am not here to fight anyone," she said, voice steady but firm. "I am here to share the truth, to clear the air, and to show that what has been spread about me is false. I have never had surgery. I have never altered my body artificially, and I will not let lies dictate my life." The former friend hesitated, glancing around the room, seemingly weighing whether to push further. "There are also people claiming financial motives, suggesting you invested in procedures secretly. They have no proof, but the speculation is rampant," she said cautiously. The tension ratcheted up further, but Jasmine's resolve only strengthened. "Speculation is not proof," she said, voice rising slightly, "and I refuse to let it control my narrative. Every claim will be addressed, every rumor dismantled, and the truth will prevail." As the conversation continued, the emotional layers deepened. Arguments flared, confessions were made, and unexpected alliances formed in the heat of the moment. Family members who had been divided began to find common ground, recognizing the injustice of the fabricated stories. Friends who had been skeptical began to support her, impressed by her courage and consistency. The energy in the room was electric, a chaotic blend of tension, relief, and anticipation. Meanwhile, outside the room, the digital storm raged on. Hashtags trended, memes were created, and fans debated endlessly about the authenticity of the messages, images, and statements circulating online. The line between reality and perception blurred, making every clarification by Jasmine and her team all the more critical. As the first night of revelations drew on, the weight of the truth hung heavily over everyone. It was clear that this was not merely a personal battle, it was a public reckoning. Every word, every gesture, and every post would be scrutinized, dissected, and potentially manipulated. But Jasmine stood firm, unwavering in her commitment to transparency and authenticity. The first phase of this emotional journey had laid the groundwork for what was to come, a confrontation with the digital world, a reckoning with family and friends, and the unraveling of a web of rumors and lies that had taken on a life of its own. And as the cameras kept rolling, capturing every moment in raw detail, one thing became undeniable: the truth was coming, whether the world was ready for it or not. and Jasmine was prepared to face the consequences head. The storm was far from over, and the next chapter promised even more twists, betrayals, and revelations that would leave everyone, fans, friends, and family alike, in total shock. The morning after the first explosive revelations, the atmosphere in Jasmine's house was thick with anticipation and tension. Everyone had spent the night processing what had been uncovered, scrolling through online reactions, and speculating about what might come next. Jasmine sat at the kitchen table, nursing a cup of coffee, her face calm but her eyes betraying the fatigue of constant scrutiny. Tasha sat across from her, still visibly tense, phone in hand, refreshing social media feeds every few seconds. "It's insane out there," Tasha murmured, shaking her head. "People are sharing your statements, but they're twisting everything. Someone even edited a video to make it look like you admitted to surgery." Jasmine let out a slow, deliberate sigh, setting her cup down. "This is why we have to keep going," she said firmly. "We can't let the lies gain momentum. We have to be proactive, not reactive." The family, still gathered around, exchanged uneasy glances. Her Aunt Carla, looking anxious, whispered, "I feel like every time you clarify, something new pops up. How do you fight against a world that thrives on drama?" Jasmine reached out and placed a hand over Carla's. "You fight with truth, Auntie, and patience, and the courage to face whatever comes next." The phone buzzed again, and Marcus, her manager, glanced at the screen, his expression a mixture of concern and determination. "Jasmine, there's a live interview scheduled tonight on one of the biggest fan pages. They want to confront you directly about the rumors. This is your chance to set the record straight publicly, but it's going to be intense." Jasmine's lips pressed into a firm line. "Then we do it," she said. "We face it. No dodging, no hiding. People want drama. We'll give them truth, and nothing else." The day progressed with meticulous preparation. Behind-the-scenes footage was compiled, old interviews reviewed, and statements rehearsed. Each family member and friend had a role to support, clarify, and, when necessary, correct misinformation. As the hour of the interview approached, nerves ran high. Jasmine sat in front of the camera, Tasha beside her, Leah quietly offering supportive glances from the side. The lights dimmed slightly, focusing attention solely on Jasmine. "Thank you for having me," she began, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her. "I know there's been a lot of speculation about me recently. Rumors, accusations, and manipulated media have spread faster than ever, and it's time to set the record straight." The host leaned in, his tone probing, yet neutral. "Jasmine, fans are curious. There are claims you underwent a BBL and other procedures. What's your response?" Jasmine looked directly into the camera, unwavering. "I have never had a BBL. I have never had surgery to alter my body. Everything you've seen is natural. Everything I am, I've always been. The images, the rumors, they're all fabrications. And it's exhausting to have to prove something that's been true all along." The host nodded, surprised by her candidness. "That's quite a statement. Have you faced backlash from friends or family during this time?" Jasmine's gaze shifted momentarily to her support circle, then returned to the camera. "Yes." Emotions ran high. Misunderstandings happened. Some people were quick to believe the worst without knowing the facts. But that's human. What matters is confronting the truth, and that's what I've done. As the interview continued, revelations emerged that had even the team in shock. Tasha revealed that she had received messages from a former friend, warning that manipulated content would surface if Jasmine didn't publicly address the rumors. "They've been planning this for months," Tasha admitted. "It's not just about surgery, it's about controlling the narrative around you." Jasmine nodded, a determined gleam in her eye. "Then we take back control," she said, voice firm. "We expose the lies, we show the truth, and we make sure everyone knows the reality." The live stream exploded with reactions. Fans flooded the comments section, some expressing shock, others relief, and many sharing screenshots and videos that supported Jasmine's claims. The energy online was electric, a mix of chaos and support that mirrored the emotional intensity inside the room. Meanwhile, as the day wore on, another twist emerged. A supposed insider sent a message claiming to have private photos that contradicted Jasmine's statements. The room froze as the phone buzzed repeatedly. Leah leaned in, scrutinizing the images. "These are old photos," she said cautiously. "They've been edited and recaptioned to mislead people. It's all fabricated." Jasmine's eyes narrowed, a flash of anger crossing her face. "Exactly," she said, standing up. "This is exactly why transparency is crucial. We can't let anyone rewrite history or twist reality for their own gain." Marcus quickly drafted a public statement and prepared verified content to counter the manipulation. The team worked tirelessly, releasing side-by-side comparisons of genuine photos and videos, proving the manipulation beyond doubt. Fans online began to rally, defending Jasmine and condemning the false narratives, creating a wave of support that helped shift the conversation. But the drama wasn't confined to social media. Within the household, old conflicts resurfaced. Family members who had previously accused Jasmine of hiding the truth began questioning one another. Grudges old and new, bubbling to the surface. Accusations and defenses collided, each one fueled by the intensity of the ongoing public scrutiny. Jasmine, sensing the volatility, raised her hands. "Enough," she said firmly. "This is not about attacking each other. It's about confronting lies, setting the record straight, and moving forward as a united front. If we lose sight of that, the rumors win." The room settled, albeit reluctantly, as everyone realized the truth in her words. The former friend who had earlier threatened to reveal secrets remained quiet, perhaps impressed by Jasmine's unwavering stance. Outside, the online storm continued to rage. Trending topics shifted from speculation to support. Fans creating hashtags, defending Jasmine and calling out the manipulators. The intensity of the moment demonstrated the power of truth, but also the relentless nature of public scrutiny in the digital age. As night fell, Jasmine sat quietly, reflecting on the day's events. The interviews, the revelations, the confrontations. It had been exhausting, emotionally draining, but necessary. She knew the journey was far from over. Tomorrow would bring more challenges, more scrutiny, and inevitably, more twists in the story. But for now, she allowed herself a moment of calm, knowing that she had taken control of the narrative, faced the lies head-on, and emerged with her integrity intact. The storm would continue, but Jasmine was ready to face it, with her friends, family, and loyal fans by her side. The journey of exposing the truth, dismantling lies, and navigating the complex web of social perception had only just begun, and every revelation promised to push the boundaries of trust, loyalty, and emotional endurance further than ever before. The night ended with a tense quiet, each person in the room processing the weight of the day, aware that the next chapter of drama, betrayal, and shocking revelations was just around the corner. The stage had been set, the players in position, and the narrative unfolding with unstoppable momentum. Fans everywhere were holding their breath, waiting for the next explosive development, knowing that nothing in Jasmine's world would ever be the same again. As dawn broke, the tension in Jasmine's household hadn't eased. The previous day's revelations had sent shockwaves through friends, family, and fans alike, and the consequences were only beginning to surface. Jasmine sat at her vanity, scrolling through the countless notifications flooding her phone. Every alert seemed to carry a mixture of admiration, criticism, and speculation. Her eyes flicked from one message to another, reading fan comments, private messages, and even heated debates from strangers online. The digital storm was relentless, and even with her team by her side, she felt the weight of every accusation and misunderstanding. Tasha entered the room quietly, holding 2 cups of coffee. "You didn't sleep much," she observed softly. Jasmine shook her head, setting her phone down. "Sleep isn't coming easily right now. Every time I think we've cleared something up, another rumor pops up." Tasha sighed, handing her the coffee. "Then we stay ahead of it. That's all we can do. Show the truth, expose the lies, and let the rest fall where it may." The day began with strategic planning. Marcus organized a detailed timeline for releasing evidence, side-by-side photos, unedited videos, and past interviews that confirmed Jasmine's statements. Every post had to be precise, leaving no room for misinterpretation or manipulation. The tension was heightened by whispers of former friends and acquaintances who had allegedly threatened to release misleading content. Leah, sitting beside Jasmine, muttered, "People are relentless. It's like they thrive on chaos. No matter how clear the truth is, they'll find a way to distort it." Jasmine's eyes hardened. "Then we make it impossible to distort. We release everything. The real story, no edits, no exaggerations, no room for lies." Preparations were interrupted when her cousin Kelly burst into the room, her face pale. "Jasmine, someone leaked old conversations again. They're claiming it's recent and edited to make it look like you admitted to something." The room stiffened. Marcus quickly reviewed the content. "These are altered, timestamps manipulated, but people will believe what they want if we don't act fast." Jasmine's voice was steady but firm. "Then we act. We show the original conversations, every detail, every timestamp, everything that proves it's fake." With a renewed sense of urgency, the team set up a live session on social media, a controlled environment where Jasmine could speak directly to her audience. As the cameras started rolling, emotions surged. Fans from around the world tuned in, ready to witness the unfiltered truth. Jasmine took a deep breath and began. "Thank you for joining me today," she said, voice calm but resolute. "There's been a lot of speculation about my body, my choices, and my life. Rumors have been spread, manipulated content has circulated, and it's time to clarify everything." The chat exploded with emojis, reactions, and messages of support. Fans typed rapidly, expressing relief, disbelief, and unwavering loyalty. The energy was tangible even through the screen. A moderator prompted her about the latest claims. "Jasmine, people are circulating old messages and photos. They claim it proves surgery or enhancements. What do you say?" Jasmine held up her phone, displaying the original, unaltered content. "This is the truth," she said firmly. "Everything else is fabricated. The photos, the edits, the supposed leaks, they're all lies. I've never had surgery. Everything you see is natural." The reaction was instantaneous. Fans flooded the chat, defending her, calling out the manipulators, and sharing the verified content to counter the false narratives. Meanwhile, behind the camera, the team coordinated responses, ensuring that every false claim was met with factual evidence. Yet even amidst this controlled release of truth, internal tensions remained high. Family members whispered among themselves, old grudges resurfacing in subtle jabs and skeptical glances. Jasmine noticed but remained focused, understanding that the external battle had triggered internal conflicts. Her Aunt Carla, still anxious, finally spoke. "I just don't understand why people lie like this. It's cruel." Jasmine reached over, squeezing her hand. "It's not about why, Auntie. It's about confronting it. Together. We cannot let lies control our emotions or our relationships." The day progressed with more revelations. An unexpected message arrived from a former acquaintance who had previously threatened exposure. The message hinted at supposed new evidence that could contradict Jasmine's statements. The team gathered quickly, analyzing the content. Leah frowned. "This looks suspicious. The edits aren't consistent with the original files. It's another attempt to fabricate." Jasmine nodded, her jaw set. "Then we dismantle it. We show the truth before it spreads." Hours later, a coordinated release of evidence went live. Photos, unedited videos, and verified messages that directly countered the fabricated claims. Fans shared widely, creating a wave of support and validation. Online, hashtags supporting Jasmine began trending, while manipulated content was flagged and discredited. The battle of perception was turning in her favor. But even as the external drama began to stabilize, the internal dynamics were tense. Family members who had doubted her sincerity now had to reconcile with their previous assumptions. Friendships were being tested, and trust had to be rebuilt. The emotional landscape was as complex as the digital one, with each revelation bringing relief, anger, or lingering skepticism. Jasmine remained the focal point, navigating these challenges with a balance of firmness and compassion. She understood that confronting lies required not only exposing them but also managing the fallout in personal relationships. By evening, the team reviewed the day's impact. The live session had garnered millions of views, with overwhelming support for Jasmine. Social media chatter was dominated by verified content and fan defenses, drowning out most of the manipulated narratives. Yet Jasmine knew the battle wasn't over. "Today was a victory," she said to Tasha and Leah, "but tomorrow will bring more scrutiny, more questions, and probably more twists. We have to stay vigilant." The night ended with a quiet moment. Jasmine sat alone for a few minutes, reflecting on the relentless pace of the past weeks. The truth had been shared, evidence had been presented, and support had rallied, but the emotional toll was significant. She understood that being in the public eye meant constant evaluation, scrutiny, and, often, fabrication. Yet, despite the exhaustion, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. The truth was out, and she had faced the lies head on. Fans online expressed gratitude and amazement, leaving messages about her courage and resilience. The digital wave of support was energizing, providing a buffer against the fatigue and emotional strain. As Jasmine prepared for bed, she whispered to herself, "This is just the beginning. No matter what comes next, I will face it with truth and strength." The calm of the night belied the storm that had passed and the challenges that lay ahead. The revelations of today had shifted narratives, challenged assumptions, and tested relationships, setting the stage for even more dramatic confrontations, emotional reckonings, and shocking twists that would continue to captivate everyone following her story. The first layer of the drama had been peeled back, exposing truths and lies alike. But the deeper complexities of loyalty, trust, and betrayal were only beginning to unfold. Jasmine knew that the journey was far from over, and with her friends, family, and loyal fans by her side, she was ready to confront whatever the next chapter would bring, determined to emerge, not just vindicated, but stronger than ever. The following morning, tension gripped the house again, heavier this time, as though the previous day's battles had only awakened new storms. Jasmine moved through the rooms with quiet determination, her mind racing through the countless ways people had tried to manipulate her image. She could hear faint whispers in the hall, family members exchanging theories, speculating about motives, and second-guessing loyalties. Tasha caught up to her in the kitchen, sliding a tablet across the counter. "Jasmine, this is intense," she murmured. "The comments are flooding in faster than we can track. Some fans are claiming they found hidden proof online. I don't even know how to respond." Jasmine took a slow, measured breath, scanning the messages. "We respond with facts, Tasha. Facts, and only facts. We show the world exactly what's real, and make it impossible for anyone to twist it." The tension inside the household was mirrored by the chaos online. Fan forums, social media pages, and gossip blogs exploded with commentary, speculation, and debate. Some fans were supportive, celebrating her transparency and courage, while others continued to sow doubt, desperately trying to find contradictions or create false narratives to reignite drama. Jasmine knew the battle was far from over. She convened a quick meeting with Marcus, Leah, and Tasha. "We need a multi-step approach," she said, her tone firm. "Live sessions, verified posts, responses to manipulated content, and, importantly, direct engagement with fans. If we control the narrative, they can't fabricate it." Leah nodded, glancing nervously at the tablet. "There's also chatter about supposed insiders leaking details that contradict your statements. People are claiming it's secret videos or private conversations." Jasmine's jaw tightened. "Then we bring the insiders into the light. Transparency, confrontation. Show proof of authenticity. We dismantle their claims, piece by piece." As the day progressed, the emotional toll became increasingly evident. Family members argued quietly, old grudges resurfacing in subtle jabs and lingering stares. Aunt Carla, still visibly shaken, whispered, "I just don't know how people can be so cruel. Why target someone like this?" Jasmine placed a hand over hers. "It's not about cruelty. It's about attention, power, and manipulation. The important part is how we respond calmly, with truth, and without letting it divide us further." A sudden buzz interrupted their discussion. Kelly, holding her phone, exclaimed, "Jasmine, another post is trending. Someone's claiming a former friend has proof of surgery. They say it's from last year, but I know it's false." The group crowded around the screen. Leah's eyes narrowed. "It's edited. Look at the background, the lighting, the shadows. It's manipulated." Jasmine exhaled sharply. "Exactly. And this is why we keep fighting. Every lie has to be exposed, every manipulation confronted. Nothing slips through the cracks." Preparations for a live session began immediately. Cameras were set, lighting adjusted, and statements rehearsed. The goal was simple: confront the rumors directly, present evidence, and engage with fans in real time to prevent further speculation. As the live session commenced, Jasmine's composure was unshakable. "Thank you all for joining me," she began. "Recent weeks have been filled with rumors, accusations, and manipulated media about me. It's time to clarify everything once and for all." The chat exploded with reactions emojis, rapid-fire messages, and expressions of disbelief and support. The energy online mirrored the intensity in the room. The host asked pointedly, "Jasmine, what about these claims of surgery or enhancements? Can you confirm?" Jasmine held up her phone, displaying original, unedited conversations and images. "This is the truth," she said firmly. "Everything else is fabricated. I have never had surgery. My body, my image, my choices, everything has been authentic and natural." Fans reacted instantly, sharing, retweeting, and posting the verified evidence widely. Hashtags supporting Jasmine surged, while manipulated content was flagged and discredited. The tide of public perception began to shift in her favor. Yet even amidst this digital victory, personal tensions remained high. Family members navigated feelings of doubt, guilt, and relief. Old conflicts resurfacing in the wake of the high-stakes drama. Jasmine, aware of the delicate balance, maintained her composure, understanding that managing personal relationships was as crucial as confronting public lies. By late afternoon, another twist emerged. A former acquaintance who had previously threatened exposure sent an ambiguous message, suggesting they had content that could change everything. The room's tension spiked. Leah scrutinized the message. "Looks suspicious." Probably another manipulation attempt. Jasmine's eyes hardened. Then we deal with it immediately. Transparency is key. We show the truth, and nothing else. The team quickly reviewed the alleged content and prepared evidence to disprove any false claims. Behind the camera, the crew coordinated responses, ensuring that each piece of fabricated content was addressed with verified proof. Fans online rallied once more, defending Jasmine and spreading the truth, creating a powerful wave of support that countered the manipulative narratives. As evening fell, Jasmine reflected quietly, the adrenaline of the day giving way to exhaustion. The interviews, confrontations, and revelations had drained her emotionally, but she felt a renewed sense of purpose. The truth had been presented, her voice had been heard, and the narrative was slowly shifting in her favor. Yet she knew the storm was far from over. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, more scrutiny, and inevitably, more twists. The battle against lies and manipulation was ongoing, and each revelation had opened the door to further intrigue, gossip, and emotional reckoning. Still, despite the fatigue, Jasmine remained resolute. She had faced the lies head-on, confronted manipulations with evidence, and engaged her fans directly, demonstrating not only courage but strategic acumen in managing both personal and public pressures. As night deepened, a sense of quiet determination settled over the household. Jasmine knew that navigating the complex interplay of digital scrutiny, personal relationships, and public perception would be an ongoing challenge, but she was prepared. The storm of rumors had been confronted, the manipulations exposed, and the truth asserted, but the next chapter promised more twists, betrayals, and revelations that would test every alliance, every trust, and every bond she had built. The narrative was far from concluded, and fans worldwide watched, captivated by every moment, every revelation, and every emotional confrontation, knowing that Jasmine's journey through lies, truth, and public scrutiny was only intensifying, with consequences that would ripple far beyond the walls of her home. The drama was escalating, and the stage was set for more shocking twists, as friends, family, and fans alike would soon discover that nothing in Jasmine's world was ever straightforward, and every revelation carried the potential to reshape the story entirely. The following day brought an unsettling mix of anticipation and apprehension. Jasmine woke early, the sunlight filtering through the curtains, casting long shadows across the room that seemed to mirror the lingering tension in her household. She moved through her morning routine methodically, aware that today could bring another wave of surprises both online and offline. Tasha joined her, carrying a tablet brimming with new notifications. "Jasmine, it's escalating," Tasha said quietly, a hint of worry in her voice. "There are new posts claiming secret meetings, private consultations, and even photoshopped images suggesting surgery. The fan pages are spinning it into full-blown drama." Jasmine took a deep breath, focusing on the steadiness of her own thoughts. "Then we confront it head-on. No avoidance, no hesitation. We counter every claim with proof, transparency, and clarity. That's the only way to survive this storm." The family convened quickly, the energy in the room electric. Marcus, Leah, and Tasha discussed strategy while Jasmine reviewed every alleged post, message, and image. She studied the details carefully, aware that even a small inconsistency could be twisted into a larger narrative against her. The morning passed in a blur of planning and preparation. Just when it seemed the situation was under control, a new twist arrived. Kelly, visibly anxious, rushed in. "Jasmine, someone claims they have a video from last month. They say it shows you admitting to procedures. It's all over certain pages." The group froze, the weight of potential misinformation pressing down. Leah scrutinized the content immediately. The lighting, the angles, the background. "It's clearly fabricated, but people will believe what they want if we don't act quickly." Jasmine's eyes narrowed. "Then we act immediately. Gather the original footage, release it, and expose the fabrication." The team moved with urgency, compiling verified videos, old interviews, and behind-the-scenes footage. Each piece was meticulously checked for authenticity, ensuring that nothing could be misinterpreted or misrepresented. The live session was scheduled for the evening, a carefully controlled opportunity to confront rumors and engage directly with her fans. As cameras rolled, Jasmine's presence was magnetic, calm yet commanding. "Thank you for joining me," she began, her voice steady. "Over the past few weeks, misinformation has spread about me, my body, and my choices. Today, I want to clarify everything with complete transparency." The chat erupted, fans flooding the comments with support, emojis, and messages of shock at the audacity of the manipulated claims. The host asked pointed questions, each one designed to probe the truth. Jasmine, what about the recent posts claiming you had secret procedures? Jasmine held up her phone, displaying original, unaltered conversations and images. These are the truth, she said firmly. Everything else is fabricated. I have never had surgery. My body, my image, my choices, everything has been natural. The claims are lies. Manipulated content created to generate drama. Reactions poured in from all corners. Fans shared, reposted, and commented, creating a powerful counter-narrative to the false claims. Hashtags supporting Jasmine surged, trending widely across social media platforms. But even as the digital storm began to calm, tensions within the household remained palpable. Family members whispered quietly, old grudges resurfacing. And trust was tested as past doubts collided with the present clarity. Jasmine maintained her composure, understanding that managing personal relationships was as crucial as addressing public misinformation. By afternoon, an unexpected development occurred. A former acquaintance who had previously threatened exposure sent a cryptic message suggesting they had new content that could change everything. The team gathered quickly, analyzing the material. Leah's brow furrowed. It's clearly edited. The angles, the shadows, the inconsistencies, they're obvious. Jasmine's jaw tightened. Then we dismantle it immediately. Transparency and evidence will always win over fabrication. The team worked tirelessly, releasing verified content to counter the fabricated claims. Fans online rallied once again, sharing the proof widely and defending Jasmine against the manipulation. By evening, the live session had reached millions of viewers. The overwhelming support, a testament to the effectiveness of transparency and direct engagement. Yet Jasmine knew the battle was far from over. Tomorrow would bring more scrutiny, more rumors, and undoubtedly more twists in the ongoing drama. The emotional and digital journey was unrelenting, but Jasmine's resolve had only strengthened. She had faced lies, confronted manipulation, and engaged directly with her audience, demonstrating courage, strategy, and unwavering commitment to the truth. As night fell, a rare quiet descended. Jasmine reflected on the relentless pace of the past days, the emotional toll, and the unwavering support of her family and fans. The storm had been fierce, but for now, she had secured a measure of victory. Yet she knew the narrative was ongoing, the drama far from concluded, and the next revelations would demand even greater resilience, wisdom, and clarity. Fans worldwide remained captivated, following every development, every revelation, and every emotional confrontation, fully aware that Jasmine's journey through lies, truth, and public scrutiny was escalating, with stakes higher than ever before. The stage was set, the players in position, and the unfolding narrative promised more shocking twists, emotional reckonings, and dramatic confrontations that would test loyalty, trust, and the power of truth itself. The next morning arrived with an uneasy quiet, a deceptive calm that belied the storm still swirling around Jasmine's life. The previous day's live session had been a triumph in transparency, yet whispers of new claims and manipulated content had already begun circulating. Jasmine sat at the kitchen table, her fingers drumming lightly against a mug of coffee, eyes scanning the notifications that kept piling up. Tasha slid in beside her, holding a tablet. Jasmine, there's chatter again. Fan pages are posting edited photos, videos, and even supposed text messages. They're spinning it into a whole new narrative, claiming secret procedures. Jasmine's gaze hardened. Then we counter it immediately. Every manipulated image, every fake conversation, we expose it. No hesitation, no compromise. Truth is our armor. The family convened swiftly, the air tense with urgency. Marcus coordinated with the tech team. Leah reviewed content for authenticity, and Tasha monitored fan reactions in real. The emotional stakes were high. The constant barrage of lies had tested everyone's patience and trust. Just as they were preparing a statement, Kelly burst into the room, pale and anxious. Jasmine, someone posted an edited video claiming it's from last week. It supposedly proves you admitted to having surgery. The comments are going crazy. Leah immediately analyzed the footage. Lighting, angles, shadows, it's clearly manipulated. But if we don't respond fast, people will believe it. Jasmine stood, resolve in every movement. Then we act now. Transparency, evidence, clarity. We show the original unedited footage and dismantle every false claim. Preparations for a new live session began immediately. Cameras were positioned, lighting checked, and verified content organized for presentation. The goal, confront the rumors head-on and re-engage directly with the audience to prevent further misinformation. As the live stream began, Jasmine's calm presence commanded attention. "Thank you all for joining me once again," she said steadily. "There's been a lot of fabricated content, manipulated posts, and false claims circulating about me. It's time to clarify everything with absolute transparency." The chat erupted in response, fans typing rapidly, expressing disbelief at the audacity of the manipulated claims and rallying support. The host asked directly, "Jasmine, what about these recent posts claiming secret procedures or admissions? What's your response?" Jasmine held up her phone, displaying verified, unaltered conversations and images. "This is the truth," she said firmly. "Everything else is fabricated. I have never had surgery. My body, my image, my choices, everything has been authentic and natural. The manipulated content is nothing but lies designed to create drama." Fans immediately began sharing the verified content, creating a surge of support that countered the false narratives. Hashtags defending Jasmine trended widely, pushing the manipulated content out of the spotlight. But even as the digital landscape shifted in her favor, internal tensions simmered. Family members quietly discussed past doubts, old grievances resurfacing, and trust was tested under the weight of continuous scrutiny. Jasmine remained composed, recognizing that maintaining personal relationships was as important as addressing public deception. Later in the afternoon, a sudden alert brought fresh tension. A former acquaintance who had previously threatened to release damaging content sent a cryptic message suggesting they had new proof that could challenge Jasmine's statements. The team analyzed the material swiftly. Leah frowned. "It's edited. The inconsistencies in lighting and angles are obvious." Jasmine's jaw tightened. "Then we dismantle it with evidence immediately. Transparency will always defeat fabrication." The team worked meticulously, releasing verified photos, videos, and messages to counter the manipulated claims. Fans online rallied, defending Jasmine and spreading the verified content, creating an overwhelming wave of support. By evening, the live session had reached millions of viewers, reinforcing her credibility and silencing many of the Yet Jasmine knew the battle was far from over. Tomorrow promised new scrutiny, new rumors, and likely new twists in the ongoing drama. The relentless pace of confrontation and clarification demanded resilience, strategy, and courage. As night descended, a rare calm settled over Jasmine. Reflecting on the previous days, the emotional strain, and the unyielding support from family and fans, she understood that while victories had been won, the journey through lies, truth, and public scrutiny was far from complete. The narrative was evolving, the drama intensifying, and fans worldwide remained captivated, following every revelation, every confrontation, and every twist with bated breath. The stage was set for further shocking developments, emotional reckonings, and dramatic confrontations that would continue to test trust, loyalty, and the power of truth. Jasmine braced herself, knowing that the next chapters would challenge her like never before, demanding unwavering focus, courage, and unshakable integrity. The next morning arrived with a palpable sense of tension, as if the previous day's battles had only stirred deeper storms. Jasmine moved through the house methodically, each step measured, every thought consumed by the relentless scrutiny she faced. Tasha approached with a tablet in hand, her expression a mix of concern and determination. "Jasmine, it's escalating again," she said softly. "There are new posts claiming private consultations, hidden procedures, and even supposedly leaked conversations. Fan pages are spinning this into a massive drama." Jasmine's eyes narrowed, resolve hardening. "Then we face it directly. No hesitation, no compromise. Every lie, every manipulation, we expose it with proof. The truth will always stand." The family quickly gathered, the atmosphere charged with urgency. Marcus coordinated with the technical team. Leah meticulously examined each piece of content for authenticity, and Tasha monitored fan reactions in real time. The emotional stakes were immense. The constant barrage of misinformation had tested everyone's patience, loyalty, and trust. Just as they were strategizing, Kelly entered, visibly anxious. "Jasmine, someone posted an edited video claiming it's recent, suggesting you admitted to procedures." The comments are exploding. Leah immediately analyzed the footage. The lighting, shadows, angles, it's obviously manipulated. But if we don't act fast, people will believe it. Jasmine stood, determination radiating. "Then we act immediately. Transparency, evidence, clarity. We release the originals, dismantle every false claim, and leave no room for misinterpretation." Preparations for a live session began without delay. Cameras were positioned, lighting adjusted, and verified content organized for presentation. The goal was clear: confront the rumors head-on and engage directly with fans to prevent further misinformation. As the live stream began, Jasmine's presence was calm yet commanding. "Thank you for joining me today," she said steadily. "Over the past weeks, there has been a flood of fabricated content, manipulated posts, and false claims about me. It's time to clarify everything with absolute transparency." The chat exploded with activity, fans expressing shock, disbelief, and unwavering support. The host asked pointedly, "Jasmine, what about the recent posts claiming secret procedures or admissions? What's your response?" Jasmine held up her phone, displaying verified, unaltered conversations and images. "This is the truth," she said firmly. "Everything else is fabricated. I have never had surgery. My body, my image, my choices, everything has been authentic and natural. The manipulated content is nothing but lies created to generate drama." Fans immediately began sharing the verified content, creating a surge of support that countered the false narratives. Hashtags defending Jasmine trended widely, pushing manipulated content out of the spotlight. Yet even as the digital tide shifted, internal tensions simmered. Family members quietly revisited past doubts, old grievances resurfacing, and trust was tested under continuous scrutiny. Jasmine remained composed, aware that maintaining personal relationships was as critical as addressing public deception. Later in the afternoon, a sudden alert intensified the tension. A former acquaintance, who had previously threatened exposure, sent a cryptic message claiming new proof that could challenge Jasmine's statements. The team analyzed the material immediately. Leah frowned. "It's clearly edited. The inconsistencies in lighting and angles are obvious." Jasmine's jaw set firmly. "Then we dismantle it immediately with verified evidence. Transparency will always defeat fabrication." The team worked tirelessly, releasing authentic photos, videos, and messages to counter the manipulated claims. Fans rallied online, sharing the verified content and defending Jasmine, creating an overwhelming wave of support. By evening, the live session had reached millions of viewers, reinforcing her credibility and silencing many Yet Jasmine knew the battle was far from over. Tomorrow would bring more scrutiny, new rumors, and likely fresh twists in the ongoing drama. The relentless pace of confrontation and clarification demanded resilience, strategy, and courage. As night fell, a rare calm settled over Jasmine. Reflecting on the whirlwind of events, the emotional strain, and the unyielding support of her family and fans, she understood that while victories had been achieved, the journey through lies, truth, and public scrutiny was far from complete. The narrative continued to evolve, the drama intensifying, and fans worldwide remained captivated, following every revelation, confrontation, and twist with rapt attention. The stage was set for further shocking developments, emotional reckonings, and dramatic confrontations that would continue to test trust, loyalty, and the enduring power of truth. Jasmine braced herself, knowing that the next chapters would challenge her like never before, demanding unwavering focus, courage, and unshakable integrity. The morning light barely crept through the curtains when Jasmine awoke, her mind already racing with the anticipation of what the day would bring. The previous nights had been restless, filled with scrolling through endless notifications, fan reactions, and manipulative posts that had spread like wildfire. Each alert carried with it an undercurrent of judgment, speculation, or accusation, and though she had faced the storm with courage before, the magnitude of it now seemed almost overwhelming. Tasha appeared quietly, carrying a fresh tablet filled with updates from every corner of social media. "Jasmine, it's worse than yesterday," she said, voice tight with concern. "There are posts claiming you had secret meetings with unknown consultants, rumors about your past choices, and even supposed insider photos. They're twisting it all into a massive narrative. Fan pages are hyping it like a scandal that never existed." Jasmine set her coffee down, her fingers tapping lightly on the edge of the counter. Her jaw was firm, eyes steely with resolve. "Then we don't ignore it. We confront it. We dismantle every fabricated claim with evidence. No hesitation, no compromise. Truth is our strongest weapon, and we'll wield it." Within moments, the team convened, energy charged. With urgency, Marcus coordinated with the technical crew to ensure every piece of alleged proof could be analyzed, while Leah meticulously reviewed each image, video, and supposed message for authenticity. Tasha monitored real-time fan reactions, tracking the shifting tides of public opinion. The emotional stakes were as high as ever. Each manipulated post threatened to undermine not only Jasmine's image, but also the fragile trust that had been painstakingly rebuilt among family members, friends, and fans alike. The morning passed in a blur of planning, review, and strategic deliberation. Then, as if on cue, another twist landed at their doorstep. Kelly, pale and jittery, rushed in. Jasmine, someone's posting an edited video claiming it's from last month, saying you admitted to procedures. It's going viral. The comments, they're insane. Leah leaned forward, eyes scanning the screen. Lighting, angles, shadows, every detail screams manipulation, but if we don't address it immediately, people will believe it, no matter how false it is. Jasmine's expression hardened, a mixture of anger and determination flashing in her eyes. Then we act immediately. Transparency, evidence, clarity. We present the originals, dismantle every lie, and leave no room for misinterpretation. Preparations for another live session began at once. Cameras were positioned with precision, lighting adjusted to perfection, and verified content meticulously organized for presentation. Every detail mattered, every nuance had to be perfect, because this was no longer just about reputation, it was about control of the narrative, about proving that lies could not dictate reality. As the live stream went live, Jasmine's presence was magnetic.com yet commanding. "Thank you all for joining me today," she began, voice steady, resonant. "Over the past weeks, there has been an overwhelming flood of fabricated content, manipulated posts, and false claims circulating about me. Today, we confront everything with absolute transparency." The chat erupted, fans reacting with emojis, exclamations of disbelief, and messages of support. The energy online was electric, as though the viewers themselves were part of the unfolding drama. The host leaned in, asking pointedly, "Jasmine, what about these recent posts claiming secret procedures or admissions? How do you respond?" Jasmine held up her phone, displaying verified, unaltered conversations and images. "This is the truth," she said firmly. "Everything else is fabricated. I have never had surgery. My body, my image, my choices, everything has been authentic and natural. These manipulated claims are nothing more than lies designed to generate drama, nothing more." Fans immediately began sharing the verified content, creating a surge of support that countered the false narratives. Hashtags defending Jasmine began trending widely, while manipulated content was pushed out of the spotlight, discredited and exposed. But even as the digital landscape shifted, internal tensions simmered. Family members whispered quietly, old doubts resurfacing, past grievances re-emerging under the weight of constant scrutiny. Jasmine remained composed, aware that maintaining personal relationships was as critical as addressing public deception. Later in the afternoon, an unexpected alert heightened the tension. A former acquaintance who had previously threatened exposure sent a cryptic message claiming they possessed new proof that could challenge Jasmine's statements. The team acted immediately, analyzing the material. Leah frowned, scrutinizing every frame. "It's clearly edited. The inconsistencies in lighting, shadows, and angles are obvious." Jasmine's jaw set with unwavering determination. "Then we dismantle it immediately, with verified evidence. Transparency will always triumph over fabrication." The team worked tirelessly, releasing authentic photos, videos, and messages to counter the manipulated claims. Fans online rallied, sharing the verified content, defending Jasmine against manipulation, and creating an overwhelming wave of support. By evening, the live session had reached millions of viewers, reinforcing her credibility and silencing many manipulations. Yet Jasmine knew the battle was far from over. Tomorrow promised new scrutiny, new rumors, and likely fresh twists in the ongoing drama. The relentless pace of confrontation and clarification demanded resilience, strategy, and courage. As night descended, a rare calm settled over Jasmine. Reflecting on the whirlwind of events, the emotional strain, and the unyielding support of her family and fans, she understood that while victories had been achieved, the journey through lies, truth, and public scrutiny was far from complete. The narrative continued to evolve, the drama intensifying, and fans worldwide remained captivated, following every revelation, confrontation, and twist with rapt attention. The stage was set for further shocking developments, emotional reckonings, and dramatic confrontations that would continue to test trust, loyalty, and the enduring power of truth. Jasmine braced herself, knowing that the next chapters would challenge her like never before, demanding unwavering focus, courage, and unshakable integrity. The next morning dawned, heavy with anticipation, the air in Jasmine's home thick with tension. The previous days had been relentless live sessions, fan reactions, manipulated content, and unending speculation yet the storm showed no signs of abating. Jasmine moved through the rooms with a quiet intensity, each step deliberate, every thought consumed by the intricate web of lies that had been spun around her. Tasha entered, tablet in hand, her expression tense. "Jasmine, it's escalating again," she said softly. "New posts are claiming secret consultations, hidden procedures, even supposed insider sources with proof. Fan pages are hyping it into a full-blown narrative, and the comments are wild." Jasmine's jaw tightened, resolve hardening. "Then we confront it directly. Every lie, every manipulation, every false claim, we expose it. No hesitation, no compromise. Truth is our strongest weapon, and we wield it with precision." The family quickly convened, the room alive with urgency. Marcus coordinated with the technical crew to analyze every post. Leah meticulously examined each image, video, and supposed message for authenticity, and Tasha monitored fan reactions in real time. The emotional stakes were immense. The relentless barrage of false claims threatened not only Jasmine's public image but also the delicate trust that had been painstakingly rebuilt among family, friends, and fans. The morning passed in a flurry of strategic planning, content review, and tense discussion. Then, as if the universe had conspired to heighten the drama, Kelly burst into the room, pale and jittery. "Jasmine, there's another post going viral," she said. "An edited video claiming it's recent, saying you admitted to procedures. The comments are exploding." Leah leaned forward, analyzing every frame. Lighting, angles, shadows, every detail screams manipulation. "But if we don't respond immediately, people will believe it." Jasmine's eyes flashed with determination. "Then we act immediately. Transparency, evidence, clarity. We present the originals, dismantle every lie, and leave no room for misinterpretation." Preparations for another live session began without delay. Cameras were positioned with precision, lighting adjusted, verified content organized meticulously for presentation. Every detail mattered, every nuance had to be perfect, because this was no longer just about reputation, it was about control of the narrative, about proving that lies could not dictate reality. As the live stream began, Jasmine's presence was magnetic, calm yet commanding. "Thank you all for joining me today," she began, voice steady, resonant. "Over the past weeks, there has been an overwhelming flood of fabricated content, manipulated posts, and false claims circulating about me. Today, we confront everything with absolute transparency." The chat exploded with activity, fans reacting with emojis, exclamations of disbelief, and messages of unwavering support. The energy online was electric, as though the viewers themselves were part of the unfolding drama. The host leaned in, asking pointedly, "Jasmine, what about these recent posts claiming secret procedures or admissions? What's your response?" Jasmine held up her phone, displaying verified, unaltered conversations and images. "This is the truth," she said firmly. "Everything else is fabricated. I have never had surgery. My body, my image, my choices, everything has been authentic and natural. These manipulated claims are lies, designed to generate drama, nothing more." Fans immediately began sharing the verified content, creating a surge of support that countered the false narratives. Hashtags defending Jasmine began trending widely, pushing manipulated content out of the spotlight, discredited and exposed. But even as the digital tide shifted, internal tensions simmered. Family members whispered quietly, old doubts resurfacing, past grievances re-emerging under the weight of continuous scrutiny. Jasmine remained composed, aware that maintaining personal relationships was as critical as addressing public deception. Later in the afternoon, a sudden alert intensified the tension. A former acquaintance, who had previously threatened exposure, sent a cryptic message claiming they possessed new proof that could challenge Jasmine's statements. The team acted immediately, analyzing the material. Leah frowned, scrutinizing every frame. "It's clearly edited. The inconsistencies in lighting, shadows, and angles are obvious." Jasmine's jaw set firmly. "Then we dismantle it immediately, with verified evidence. Transparency will always triumph over fabrication." The team worked tirelessly, releasing authentic photos, videos, and messages to counter the manipulated claims. Fans online rallied, sharing the verified content, defending Jasmine against manipulation, and creating an overwhelming wave of support. By evening, the live session had reached millions of viewers, reinforcing her credibility and silencing many Yet Jasmine knew the battle was far from over. Tomorrow would bring new scrutiny, new rumors, and likely fresh twists in the ongoing drama. The relentless pace of confrontation and clarification demanded resilience, strategy, and courage. As night descended, a rare calm settled over Jasmine, reflecting on the whirlwind of events, the emotional strain, and the unyielding support of her family and fans. She understood that while victories had been achieved, the journey through lies, truth, and public scrutiny was far from complete. The narrative continued to evolve, the drama intensifying, and fans worldwide remained captivated, following every revelation, confrontation, and twist with rapt attention. The stage was set for further shocking developments, emotional reckonings, and dramatic confrontations that would continue to test trust, loyalty, and the enduring power of truth. Jasmine braced herself, knowing that the next chapters would challenge her like never before, demanding unwavering focus, courage, and unshakable integrity. The following morning arrived with an eerie quiet, a deceptive calm that only made the tension in Jasmine's household more palpable. The previous days had been a whirlwind of live sessions, social media battles, and manipulative posts designed to provoke, unsettle, and create drama. Jasmine moved through the rooms methodically, her mind already racing with strategies, anticipating the next wave of chaos. Tasha approached, carrying a tablet that seemed to vibrate with constant alerts. "Jasmine, it's escalating again," she said quietly, her eyes betraying concern. "There are posts claiming secret meetings, hidden procedures, even alleged insider sources with proof. The fan pages are spinning it into a massive drama. The comments are relentless." Jasmine set her jaw, her resolve hardening. "Then we confront it head. Every lie, every manipulation, we dismantle it. No hesitation, no compromise. Truth is our strongest weapon, and we will wield it with precision." The family quickly convened, energy charged with urgency. Marcus coordinated with the technical crew, ensuring every alleged piece of content could be analyzed. Leah meticulously examined each image, video, and message for authenticity, while Tasha monitored fan reactions in real. The stakes were immense. Every manipulated post threatened to undermine Jasmine's reputation, her credibility, and the fragile trust she had painstakingly built with family, friends, and fans. The morning passed in a blur of strategy meetings, content review, and tense deliberations. Then, just as they were beginning to feel a semblance of control, Kelly rushed in, her face pale with alarm. "Jasmine, another post is going viral," she said, voice trembling. "An edited video claiming it's recent, saying you admitted to procedures. The comments are exploding." Leah immediately analyzed the footage. Lighting, shadows, angles, every detail screams manipulation. "But if we don't act fast, people will believe it." Jasmine's eyes flashed with determination. "Then we act immediately. Transparency, evidence, clarity. We present the originals, dismantle every lie, and leave no room for misinterpretation." Preparations for another live session began without delay. Cameras were positioned with precision, lighting adjusted, verified content meticulously organized for presentation. Every detail mattered, every nuance had to be perfect, because this was no longer just about reputation, it was about control of the narrative, about proving that lies could not dictate reality. As the live stream began, Jasmine's presence was calm, commanding, magnetic. "Thank you all for joining me today," she began, voice steady, resonant. "Over the past weeks, there has been an overwhelming flood of fabricated content, manipulated posts, and false claims circulating about me. Today, we confront everything with absolute transparency." The chat erupted, fans reacting with emojis, exclamations of disbelief, and messages of unwavering support. The energy online was electric, as though the viewers themselves were part of the unfolding drama. The host asked pointedly, "Jasmine, what about these recent posts claiming secret procedures or admissions? How do you respond?" Jasmine held up her phone, displaying verified, unaltered conversations and images. "This is the truth," she said firmly. "Everything else is fabricated. I have never had surgery. My body, my image, my choices, everything has been authentic and natural. These manipulated claims are lies, designed to generate drama, nothing more." Fans immediately began sharing the verified content, creating a surge of support that countered the false narratives. Hashtags defending Jasmine began trending widely, pushing manipulated content out of the spotlight, discredited and exposed. Yet even as the digital landscape shifted, internal tensions simmered. Family members whispered quietly, old doubts resurfacing, past grievances re-emerging under the weight of continuous scrutiny. Jasmine remained composed, aware that maintaining personal relationships was as critical as addressing public deception. Later in the afternoon, a sudden alert heightened the tension. A former acquaintance, who had previously threatened exposure, sent a cryptic message claiming they possessed new proof that could challenge Jasmine's statements. The team acted immediately, analyzing the material. Leah frowned, scrutinizing every frame. It's clearly edited. The inconsistencies in lighting, shadows, and angles are obvious. Jasmine's jaw set firmly. Then we dismantle it immediately, with verified evidence. Transparency will always triumph over fabrication. The team worked tirelessly, releasing authentic photos, videos, and messages to counter the manipulated claims. Fans online rallied, sharing the verified content, defending Jasmine against manipulation, and creating an overwhelming wave of support. By evening, the live session had reached millions of viewers, reinforcing her credibility and silencing many Yet Jasmine knew the battle was far from over. Tomorrow promised new scrutiny, new rumors, and likely fresh twists in the ongoing drama. The relentless pace of confrontation and clarification demanded resilience, strategy, and courage. As night fell, a rare calm settled over Jasmine, reflecting on the whirlwind of events, the emotional strain, and the unyielding support of her family and fans. She understood that while victories had been achieved, the journey through lies, truth, and public scrutiny was far from complete. The narrative continued to evolve, the drama intensifying, and fans worldwide remained captivated, following every revelation, confrontation, and twist with rapt attention. The stage was set for further shocking developments, emotional reckonings, and dramatic confrontations that would continue to test trust, loyalty, and the enduring power of truth. Jasmine braced herself, knowing that the next trust, loyalty, and the enduring power of truth. Jasmine braced herself, knowing that the next chapters would challenge her like never before, demanding unwavering focus, courage, and unshakable integrity. As the dust begins to settle, and the echoes of lies, manipulation, and digital chaos fade into memory, one thing is crystal clear: Jasmine has faced the storm head-on, unwavering, and unshaken. The journey has been anything but easy. Every notification, every edited photo, every fabricated story was a test not just of her image, but of her resilience, her courage, and her ability to control her own narrative in the face of relentless scrutiny. You've witnessed the drama unfold, the twists that made hearts pound, the accusations that tore at the seams of trust, and the confrontations that left everyone on edge. And yet, through it all, Jasmine has stood tall, confronting every false claim with transparency, clarity, and undeniable truth. But the story doesn't end here. The truth has been revealed, yes, but questions remain. Who was behind the What will the next wave of rumors bring? And most importantly, how will Jasmine navigate the ever-watchful eyes of fans, critics, and opportunists who thrive on scandal? The answers aren't fully known, and that uncertainty is exactly what keeps the world watching. Fans everywhere are still talking, still debating, still sharing their shock and support. Comments pour in, some expressing disbelief at the audacity of the manipulations, others celebrating Jasmine's unwavering authenticity, and many more simply marveling at the sheer drama of it all. It's a collective experience, a journey shared by thousands, maybe millions, of people who have followed every step, every revelation, every emotional moment as it unfolded. And now, here's where you come in. This is your chance to be part of the conversation, to weigh in, and to share your perspective on what has been the most shocking, the most heart-wrenching, and the most jaw-dropping moment of this saga. Do you believe Jasmine has finally silenced the rumors for good? Or is there another twist waiting just around the corner? Your voice matters in this ongoing narrative. Every like, every comment, and every share contributes to the story, amplifying the truth, supporting those who stand against falsehood, and ensuring that transparency triumphs over deception. Imagine the power you hold as part of this community. Your reaction, your engagement, your insight can shape how this story is remembered and discussed for weeks, even months, to come. So take a moment, scroll through the comments, add your thoughts, and connect with others who have been equally captivated by the drama. Tell us what shocked you the most. Tell us which moment left you speechless, and tell us how you feel about the resilience, courage, and authenticity Jasmine has displayed in the face of relentless scrutiny. And don't stop there. Make sure you like the video if you've been following this story from the beginning. If you felt the tension, the suspense, the betrayal, and the ultimate triumph, your like isn't just a click. It's a stamp of solidarity, a signal that honesty, transparency, and truth are worth celebrating, and that manipulations and lies cannot stand when confronted with evidence and courage. Subscribe to the channel to stay connected, because the story doesn't end today. There will be more revelations, more drama, more twists that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Subscribing ensures you never miss a moment, that you are always first to witness the next development, and that you continue to be part of this unique community that thrives on drama, honesty, and emotional intensity. Hit that notification bell as well, because every alert brings you directly into the heart of the story. Every ping a reminder that you are part of something bigger, something larger than the individual, a narrative that has captivated fans and critics alike, and one that continues to unfold in real. And while you're here, don't hesitate to comment below. Share your thoughts on the most shocking claims, the moments of vulnerability, the confrontations that left everyone gasping. Engage with other viewers, debate the twists, and add your voice to the ongoing conversation. Your opinion matters, your perspective is valuable, and your engagement helps create a vibrant, active, and passionate community. Reflect on what you've seen, what you've learned, and what you think will happen next. Do you anticipate more false claims, or do you believe this chapter marks the triumph of truth and transparency? Every insight adds depth, every comment fuels discussion, and every reaction strengthens the collective experience of being part of this story. Jasmine's journey has reminded us all of the importance of courage, honesty, and the power of standing firm in the face of adversity. It's a lesson that extends beyond social media, beyond rumors, and into life itself. Truth matters, evidence matters, and resilience matters. As you engage with this content, remember that you are witnessing more than just a story about controversy or drama. You are witnessing a lesson in authenticity, a demonstration of perseverance, and a real-life example of how one person can reclaim their narrative against overwhelming odds. Your participation in this community is more than just casual observation. It's a way to honor that lesson, to celebrate truth, and to contribute to a shared experience that is as emotionally charged as it is unforgettable. So now, take action. Like the video if you've been captivated, subscribe if you want to stay at the center of every twist and revelation, and comment below to share your perspective, your shock, your admiration, or your predictions for what comes next. This is your invitation to be part of the story, to join a community that values transparency, courage, and authenticity, and to engage in a conversation that will continue to evolve long after this video ends. The drama is far from over, the twists are far from complete, and Jasmine's journey is still unfolding. Your voice, your engagement, and your support are essential to witnessing it all, reacting in real time and ensuring that truth always stands above manipulation. So don't wait, be part of this moment, be part of this conversation, and be part of the experience that has captivated fans worldwide. Like, subscribe, comment, and make your presence known. The stage is set, the narrative continues, and the next chapter is waiting for you. Join the conversation, amplify the truth, and witness history in the making. Stay engaged, stay curious, and above all, remember the power of truth is unstoppable. And now, so is your voice.